Movie starts with three friends Rajveer, Dumpy or Vishwa taking injured Rajveer to hospital. Someone hit bottle over his head and they are in anger. Simultaneously, three girls, Meenal, Andrea, and Falak, going back to their home in cab. They are panic. Then we see an old man, Deepak Sehgal, going on morning walk, who is the neighbor of those three girls. At night, he stares girls' apartment. Seems like he felt something abnormal in their behavior. Deepak Sehgal's wife is admitted in a hospital and he takes care of her. At night, Rajveer's cousin Ankit called girls' landlord to say girls in his apartment living are not decent, so he should throw them out, but landlord does not convinced. Therefore, next day Ankit threatened landlord and also hurt him. He forcefully said to out girls from his house. Landlord told this incident to Palak and advised they should go to police. Then Rajveer and his friends call Meenal, demands to pay them because she hurt Rajveer. They threaten Meenal, but Meenal say she does not afraid to anyone. Rajveer and his friends get furious. They also threaten Andrea and follows her, but she able to run away from them. All girls were tensed and very much distracted to their work. Vishwa meet Falak in a restaurant where he suggests they should compromise, and Rajveer's family is very rich and connected since they are girls, so in the end only they will suffer. Without telling Falak and Andrea, Meenal goes to police. Police inspector start making excuses for not filing the complaint by saying your home does not come under this area and I will file case also against you because you hurt a guy and you were drunk. Directly or indirectly blames girls. Falak feels bad since Meenal went to police. She asks Andrea and Meenal to compromise and apologize to them to finish this matter. But Meenal refused and Andrea support her. Falak says, okay, then I will apologize even on their behalf. Meanwhile, Vishwa tells Rajveer and his friends that girls are ready to apologize. Ankit says no, women should know their place. Vishwa says you were not even there and he calls Falak. Rajveer talked to Falak, says he just wanted Meenal's apologize and used bad word for Meenal. Falak gets angry and immediately scold him and deny for any apology. Next day, Falak's unbefitting photos go viral, so her boss asks her take leave for some times for being the reputation of company. In morning, while walking, Mr. Sehgal see guys kidnapping Meenal and immediately inform to police. Unfortunately, nothing happens. Boy humiliate or torture Meenal a lot. They threaten badly, and after some time, threw her out of car. She was scared. Her friends ask what happened to her. They file police complaint. But everything fired back. Next day, police arrest Meenal because Rajveer's family is very rich and well connected. Whole society just blame girls. Falak and Andrea go to police station where, after waiting for whole day, they were allowed to meet Meenal for some times. Police officer humiliate Falak, Andrea, and Meenal's father and says Meenal is a prostitute and she tried to kill Rajveer. Sehgal go to Falak's house and after seeing the complaint copy, Sehgal suggests to hire a lawyer and they can apply for bail because women and children can get bail in this matter. Later, girls search about Deepak Sehgal on internet and found out he is a retired advocate. Meenal does not get bail because the lawyer was not good and nobody was supporting them in court. To see Meenal's condition, Falak and Andrea feel so bad and sad. They go to Sehgal's house, tells the condition. Sehgal could not do anything at that time and feels helpless, which never let him sleep whole night. He shares everything with his wife. Despite being old and on medication, Sehgal decides to be their lawyer. Meenal get bail and Sehgal says them to be ready for trial and start preparation on self. In first hearing, Rajveer's lawyer Prashant introduced Meenal and her friends as characterless by saying they went party where met Rajveer and his friends. Initially they make friends and then girls offer them to establish sexual relations with them in exchange of money. When boys refused their offer but girls blackmailed, they would file fake rape charges against them if they did not give money. When Rajveer did not agree, Meenal attacked her. Later they fled from the crime scene. Mr. Sehgal in opening argument said boys are charged under molestation, abduction of girls and threatening charges. Investigating officer Sarla in her statement says guys complaint filed before girls, and after some investigation it was found that girls were present at a resort during the incident. Since Meenal was absconding, she was arrested few days later, and girls were not assaulted, which was testified by the resort waiter and manager. And police collected that broken bottle which used to hit Rajveer with Meenal's fingerprints. Next, doctor testified attack was intense, so he could die. Then waiter gave his statement. He says girls were laughing and chatting. They were not wearing appropriate clothes. Each girl was going alone with a different guy and were going to their room. Andrea was the first to go inside. Andrea interrupts says, I went to use a toilet. In the last testimony of the day, manager says, I heard Rajveer and Meenal talking about having sex. Mr. Sehgal does not cross-examine to any witness. Judge invite Meenal in stand and tell charges are serious against her. Meenal responds they are lying and cry first court hearing ends here. On the next date, Prashant asks to Andrea, are you from Northeast? How long have you been soliciting? Andrea says this is a lie. I work in a management company. Then Prashant asks then, what were you doing in Dumpy's room? You stayed there for some time and shut the door by your own self. It is captured in CCTV camera. And Prashant finished his point. Then Sehgal stand and start questioning. Firstly, he says to Andrea, you are from northeastern state, Meghalaya, and give description of a state like beauty, mountain and football. Everyone was confused. Judge asked what is he doing. Sehgal replies Prashant did not ask any other one from which state they belongs to, but specifically asked to Andrea. Andrea says, yes, I am being harassed more than an average Indian girl on the street. If any of you do not understand, I would tell you Northeast state people discriminated or treated like outsider by the some people in their own country. Sehgal asked Andrea when you all were sitting in Rajveer's room, then why you went to Dumpy's room. Andrea says because Rajveer told his bathroom flush is not working and he sent Dumpy with her, and shutting room's door was instinctive. She did not think about anything. After coming out of toilet, Dumpy switched off the light, called his name few times and scared to step out of loo because Dumpy was laughing. Then Dumpy pushed Andrea and started touching unseemly. Now onwards, Deepak Sehgal make a girl's safety manual like a sarcasm. This is one of the best part of a movie. He highlights some point time to time. The first point is a girl should never go anywhere with a boy alone, not to resort and definitely not for using bathroom, because by her doing that people presume that since she has willingly come here, she has been issued a license to do anything with her. Whereas Dumpy in his statement says Andrea said Meenal will talk to Rajveer, and then she started kissing and opening his shirt. Since he is committed to someone, so did not do anything. Falak from her seat says he is lying because he was flirting with Andrea since the beginning. Prashant invites Falak into stand and blame her by saying, since you are the only breadwinner in your family, and your brother is a special child. There are two loans on you and perpetually in the need of money. That's why she asked money in exchange of a sexual favor. Prashant never let her answer. Further, Rajveer in his testimony, girls saw us in rock show and they were laughing. Initially, we thought they are just friendly, but in resort they started giving hints like let's go to room alone and can have some time. And in a room they drink and start touching. They ask for money. When I refused to give money, Minal pushed me or hit me with a bottle. Sehgal asked about the hints they were giving to guys. Rajveer says smiling, were frank and touching while talking. Here rule number 2 of girls safety manual given by Sehgal. Not talk to a boy while smiling or touch him because he will think it as a hint. Her smile will be considered a yes. What is natural human behavior can make her seem characterless to him. On the next hearing, girl's neighbor Mr. Gupta said sometimes he saw girls coming late with boys. Sehgal asked, have you ever seen or heard any of them taking money or sleeping with them? Gupta said no. Point number 3 of girls safety manual. In our society, clearly clock determines a person's character. When girls walk on road at night, cars slow down, windows get rolled down, but no one thinks of this great idea during the day. Prashant questions Minal despite having her parents' house in same city why she does not live with them. Minal says because she is an independent woman and work till late night, so her parents do not get disturbed, that's why. However, Prashant interpreted this differently in court, like reason of not living with her parents is that she does not want any restriction and live freely. He said all this in negative tone. In the next scene, we see Sehgal took all girls to meet his wife in hospital and they spent little time together. The next day in court, Minal in her statement tells they all met on a rock show. She knew Vishwa before since her school times and he introduced them to Rajveer and Dumpy. Therefore, they do not feel unsafe. Guys kept insisting them for dinner, that's why they went to resort. Sehgal questioned Minal why were you smiling or being friendly to them. Minal says I was normal. Sehgal asked if you were having good time then why did you hit Rajveer? Minal says because he grabbed me and would not let me go. It was a disgusting feeling when he touched. Then I lost it and hit him with bottle. She said that I am sorry I hit him so hard. I had no intention. But who would not react if touched in that manner, forcibly? Since she answered painfully, so whole court silent at that time. That silence is broken by Prashant by saying, you edit the incident, you asked for money, you said you were feeling safe, or why would someone go to someone's room? And why did you start drinking? A photo of them shown in the court where Minal is making drink. You struck an obscene conversation with Rajveer in a restaurant to which manager is witness. Minal answered it was just a joke and denied to crack in public. Then Prashant concludes this and says, when a girl cannot tell in public, then how can she admit she went there to solicit? Court should notice they went with stranger and shows camera footage. On the next date, investigation officer Sarla answered Sehgal's question. She says they did not arrest Minal immediately after complaint because she was hiding, and when an police informer gave tip where she is, then they arrested her. Sehgal retaliated by saying you are lying. You wrote complaint only in 2 lines of such a serious incidents, whereas above those lines there is a stolen phone complaint which covered half page, and the report is written with different inked pen. You did this because there was little space left on the page for you to make a backdated entry. Furthermore, Sehgal shows the photos of Officer Sarla attending the function in a hotel which is 22 km from the police station, and photo shows the time 11:05 and the complaint time is 11:15. In the city traffic who can cover 40 minutes distance just in 10 minutes. Sehgal proved her lie. Nobody questioned because evidence was very clear. Next time Sehgal questioned Minal about her virginity. When she lost it, how old she was, with who, or did he pay or force you? Minal replies, I'm not virgin. I lost it at the age of 19 with my boyfriend. We liked each other and neither he paid nor forced me. I had relationship after that. Sehgal asked, since you had done before, Rajveer and his friends might have thought the same. Then what's wrong with it? What did you do that night? Minal answers, I refused and pushed him. I said no. When Rajveer touched, she felt humiliated and she was a bit drunk. Here Sehgal gives rule number 4 of Girls' Safety Manual. No girl should ever have a drink with a boy, because if she does, the boy seems to think that she can have a drink with me, then she won't mind sleeping with me. For girls, drinking alcohol means being available just for girls, and for boys it's just hazards. Wearing jeans or skirt provoked boys, seeing them like this for no fault of theirs. The poor boys end up making mistakes. Sehgal continues by saying, until now we have been making effort in wrong direction. We should save our boys, not our girls, because if we save our boys, then our girls will be safe. Now Prashant asks Falak about Javed and taking money from him. Falak says he is my ex-boyfriend. The money he was giving is a loan. Now I am returning it bit by bit. Prashant then says a lot to Falak, like she is returning deliberately since she knew this case will be in court. She is just pretending, and Prashant tried to prove her prostitute and humiliate her by many bad words. At that moment, Falak broken up badly and says, yes, we demanded for money and took the money, but still what happened to Minal is not good. Andrea interrupted, why are you doing this? We did not take any money. Why are you branding us like this? Falak continued. Minal said no, then why Rajveer kept touching her inappropriately? Now ask judge what was right by law, angrily. Judge adjourned the session of court. However, somehow all felt girls never demanded for money, and Falak said this in anger. In another session, Rajveer tells they met in a rock show. They were smiling and touching. The same thing. When Sehgal asks if a girl smile or touch, does it mean she is ready to sleep with anyone? Rajveer says no, it depends where we met. Sehgal says, does that mean when you decide the character for you? Rock show means yes, in library or temple is not. Now Sehgal congratulates Rajveer, soon he is going to marry to a politician's daughter amid the court session. To this Rajveer responds, what does my personal life have to do with this case? Sehgal countered his question, nothing, but neither did the personal lives of my clients. Here he meant about Falak because Prashant unnecessarily questioned about her life. Rajveer says, I am not like those characterless girls. I belong to a decent family and a reputed family, and these girls drink and do parties. Sehgal asked, do women in your family drink alcohol? When Rajveer answered no, then Sehgal showed a picture of his sister drinking in a party. From this, Rajveer gets furious, and Sehgal took advantage of this situation to show his mentality in courtroom. Rajveer says, female of my family attend family gathering, and angrily said to Sehgal not to cross the line. You don't know who you are talking with. My sister never does like Meenal, who drink and go to party, and this is what happens to such girls. Sehgal says, but boys like you start judging on the basis of their dress and drink alcohol and thinks they are available, and girls would have not realized you would rape. Rajveer said that in such circumstances anyone will try their luck with them and called them call girl. Judge immediately interrupted and asked Rajveer to control himself. Sehgal said thank you to Rajveer in sarcasm way as he has proved what he wanted to. Court adjourned after that, and before the last hearing Sehgal's wife died. Sehgal gave his last argument in court, which is actually a message. He said that no. No is just not a word. It is a complete sentence which does not need any explanation. No means no. My client said no. And these boys must realize when any girl, sex worker, wife, sister, mother says no, no means no. Judge in the judgment dismissed all charges against Minal and found Rajveer guilty. Ronak Urf Dumpy and Ankit also found guilty. Meenal thanks Sehgal while crying.